Declassified CIA documents on Somalia, 1948 to 2024. To ensure a thorough understanding of Somalia's geopolitical, economic, and strategic significance, it's essential to include detailed information about the country's natural resources, including minerals, oil and gas, myrrh, and sea resources. Here's a comprehensive overview based on declassified CIA documents. 1. Post-World War II and early Cold War, 1948-1960s. The so-called colonial legacy and the period when Somalia got rid of its unwanted guests and achieved so-called independence. Background: Somalia's path from war with the colonial into so-called independence and the initial strategic interest in the region. CIA focus: initial intelligence on political groups and leaders, such as the Somali Youth League, SYL, and the strategic significance of Somalia's location in the Horn of Africa. 2. Cold War dynamics and natural resources, 1960s to 1980s, Soviet influence and U.S. response. Strategic resources. Early reports indicate Soviet interest in Somalia not only for its strategic location, but also for potential resource exploitation, including minerals and marine resources. U.S. counteractions. Documentation of U.S. strategies to counter Soviet influence, including assessing Somalia's resource potential as leverage for political alliances. Resource exploration and geopolitical implications. Oil and gas. CIA documents from the 1960s and 1970s reveal exploration activities and potential oil reserves in Somalia. U.S. and Western companies showed interest in exploring and developing these resources. Minerals. Reports detail Somalia's untapped mineral wealth, including uranium and other strategic minerals. The CIA monitored Soviet geological surveys and mining activities. 1. Oil and gas. Oil. Offshore and onshore potential reserves in Puntland, SS Sikatumo, and other regions. Natural gas. Offshore basins with significant reserves. 2. Uranium. Uranium. Deposits in Galmudug and Puntland, explored during the Cold War. 3. Iron ore. Iron ore. Deposits in central regions, particularly nearby Doha. 4. Copper. Copper. Occurrences in various regions, yet to be fully explored. 5. Gypsum and anhydrite. Gypsum. Major deposits in the Berbera area. Anhydrite. Found alongside gypsum. 6. Bauxite. Bauxite. Deposits near the Kenyan border. 7. Limestone and marble. Limestone. Extensive deposits throughout southern Somalia. Marble. High-quality marble in Somaliland. 8. Quartz and silica sand. Quartz. Used in glassmaking and electronics. Silica sand. Used in glassmaking and construction. 9. Gold. Gold. Occurrences in southwestern regions, with artisanal mining common. Smaragd gold. A specific type of gold found in certain deposits, valued for its unique characteristics. 10. Platinum. Platinum. Potential deposits, though not extensively documented. Some reports suggest the presence of platinum group metals, PGMs, in specific geological settings. 11. Rare earth elements, REs. REs. Potential deposits critical for modern technology. 12. Gemstones. Gemstones. Including emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and garnets, especially in northern regions. 13. Salt. Salt. Major deposits and production sites along the coast. 14. Titanium. Titanium. Ilmenite and rutile deposits in coastal sands. 15. Kaolin. Kaolin. Found in various regions, used in ceramics and paper. 16. Manganese. Manganese. Used in steel production. 17. Phosphates. Phosphates. Used in fertilizers, present in various deposits. 18. Coal. Coal. Deposits in southern regions. 19. Cement, raw materials. Clays and shales, essential for cement production. 20. Industrial minerals. Bentonite. Used in drilling mud and binding agents. Feldspar. Used in glassmaking and ceramics. Potential and speculative resources. Nickel. Potential deposits. Chromium. Possible chromium deposits. Example sources for further research. U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, reports. comprehensive surveys and assessments of Somalia's mineral resources. CIA World Factbook, general information on Somalia's natural resources. UN and World Bank reports, economic and resource assessments. Marine resources. The CIA assessed the rich fishing grounds off Somalia's coast, highlighting their economic potential and the strategic importance of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. 3. Military regimes and economic interests, 1970s to 1980s. Syed Barre's regime. Economic policies. CIA analyses of Barre's economic policies, which included nationalization efforts and attempts to leverage Somalia's natural resources for development. International interest. Documentation of foreign investments and interests, particularly from the Soviet Union and later the U.S., in exploiting Somalia's oil and gas reserves. Ogaden War, 1977 to 1978. Conflict overview. Detailed assessments of the war's impact on resource exploration and economic stability. Strategic importance. CIA reports on the importance of securing resource-rich regions and the implications of the conflict for regional power dynamics. 4. Civil war, resource control, and humanitarian crisis, 1980s to 1990s. Collapse of Barre's regime. Resource control. Intelligence on the struggle for control over key resource areas among warlords following the collapse of central authority. Humanitarian impact. Analysis of how resource scarcity and competition exacerbated the humanitarian crisis during the Civil War. 5. Post-9/11 era and counterterrorism, 2000s to 2020s. Al-Shabaab and resource exploitation. Militant financing. Reports on how Al-Shabaab financed its operations through the illegal trade of charcoal and control over ports and fishing grounds. Counterterrorism strategies. CIA strategies to disrupt these financial networks and secure maritime routes against piracy and militant activities. Economic developments. Oil and gas. Renewed interest in Somalia's oil and gas potential, with multinational companies exploring offshore reserves. International investments. CIA documentation on foreign investments in Somalia's resources, including Chinese and Middle Eastern interests. 6. Recent developments and future prospects, 2020s. Current resource exploitation. Oil and gas exploration. Recent CIA assessments on ongoing exploration activities and the geopolitical implications of potential oil and gas discoveries. Mineral wealth. Documentation of renewed interest in Somalia's minerals, including rare earth elements critical for modern technology. Sustainable development. Marine resources. Reports on efforts to develop sustainable fishing practices and protect marine ecosystems. International aid and development. CIA insights on the role of international aid in supporting sustainable resource development and economic stability in Somalia. And now, as we reach the end of our news segment, please remember, for a detailed list of our sources, you can find them in the description of our YouTube video.